The Autistic Radio Conference Tour 2025 is a co-production with BILD, the Restraint Reduction Network, and Autistic Association. We are open to co-productions with professional organisations where our ethics and interests coincide and align. This short series of short podcasts demonstrate cooperations that are possible, recordings with people at the conference, speaking openly, clearly, with equity in the communication. Welcome back. I've found a willing victim to come and speak to what the conference does, and he's described himself as somebody who has a lot of words. So this might be edited in quite a brutal way, but there's going to be something that Edwin here has to say that we all need to listen to. Hello, Edwin. Would you mind just introducing yourself and telling me why you're here?
Hello, I'm Edwin Jones. I have been working in this field for a large number of years, and I have previously worked with BILD and RRN. I've retired, but I've returned just because the work's so important. It's something I need to do.
It's a passion in your life, sir.
And I've come back because I realise how important and the work is to me and how important the whole topic is.
Wow. So this isn't an obligation for you. This is a desire to put things right.
Yeah, this is something I feel very strongly about. We need to work for social justice, and this for me is a very clear human rights issue.
Human rights is how you frame this.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, there's a whole political movement against human rights.
Mm-hmm.
So it triggers people. The word human rights triggers people, and the people who are voting get triggered by that. Is there a better way of framing that so that we don't allow them to jump on that?
Well, I believe human rights are for everybody all the time. So I wonder what it is that triggers that. And I think we should stand up and be clear. All our rights can be jeopardized at times. And if we don't support the human rights of everybody, then we're all at risk. I reject the narrative that the human rights legislation is somehow problematic. That's a political move. And I think that we all need to stand up for human rights historically. If you're rich and powerful, then you exercise your rights. If you're poor and vulnerable, that's when the issue really kicks in.
So what you're saying, that human rights are a given for a certain group of the population, they don't come across their restriction. So they don't see the need for laws to enshrine human rights.
Mm-hmm.
Would it perhaps be useful to change the wording and change human rights to personal freedom? That seems to be something that people are keen to have expressed.
Yes, we could, but personal freedom is a human right. We do need to think about language. I'm not against using other terms. I think my issue personally is I think there's nothing wrong with the term human rights. But if we think about individual rights, freedom from torture, the right to a private life, the right to family, they're all key. So you could talk about each one individually, but sometimes it's helpful to have a collective note.
Here on Autistic Radio, we've had a whole series of discussions and conversations with people from the behaviourist community, behavioural scientists, ABA practitioners, PBS practitioners. They mention human rights again and again. They mention neurodiversity and again. But I believe that there's a prejudice in people like me who advocate for better understanding of neurodivergent people that it's all a bit of talk. How do we change that now?
Yes, I think it's easy for people to talk about human rights. The harder thing is to help people have their human rights in practice. So for me, if somebody is in detained in an institution, their human rights remain. The human rights haven't gone away, but we need to liberate them from institutions in order for them to really enjoy the full benefits of the human rights. I agree, there's a lot of talk about human rights, but I think at the RRN, what we're concerned about is actually implementing them in practice. That poses difficulties for, need a better word, service providers. That causes some dilemmas, and there's always a kind of some sort of balancing act that has to happen. But that's important, because that to me says we are implementing them. We haven't just got some lovely glossy poster on the wall that talks about human rights. When I look at what happens in some of the institutional environments, I mean, it's very clear that they're not promoting human rights. So it's more than posturing. It's more than the feeling that you should say this. So I'm going to say promoting human rights can be difficult.
Thank you. I'm going to then comment to you, and I'm going to say that here, as an autistic man, attending workshops, attending the main speakers here, I believe that this organisation has gone beyond talk, and I believe that what I witness as practical solutions that are being shared amongst professionals, incredibly valuable to my community. And I hope that there will be more people out there listening to Autistic Radio who engage with the right professional, and that will help us all to turn down the narrative of protest and turn up the cooperation. Thank you for joining us here on Autistic Radio. Thank you for putting your words out there on Autistic Radio.
Thanks for the opportunity. It's great.
How do you feel?
Okay, good, yeah.
We speak. Our words, we listen.
We speak. Our words, we listen.
We speak. Our words, we listen.
We speak. Our words, we listen.